The crew worldwide, from Cali to Twitter, real hardcore fans, boxing ass niggas, consistency cops, police the views, we'll pull up receipts for any debate you choose. Shout outs to Clan Archie for the dope production. Ring gang stay with the best discussions. Ring Gang Radio.
Yeah, good evening everyone. Welcome to another episode of Real Talk, where as always, if shit's real, we talk about it. I'm your host for tonight, Patscorpio, the New England representative. And as always, I got my man with me. I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Well, what it do? Boy, LB, Lauderdale Boss, a.k.a. Shutterworth, the GOAT artist.
Yes, sir. So, LB, man. Well, first of all, this goddamn weather I'm having up here, man. I know it must be nice down in Florida where you are. You know, here we're having the quote-unquote polar vortex and shit. So, like, you know, nigga was freezing for most of the day, man. This shit is not natural at all. Fucking snow. Yeah, I know. You don't know what I'm talking about because you haven't seen snow in God knows how long.
5 degrees.
5 degrees, and tomorrow's supposed to be like, you know, winter's supposed to be like below zero and shit. Man, just all this Arctic madness, man.
Those are horror movie temperatures. That's like what, day after tomorrow?
Yeah, exactly. 2012 type. You know.
Yeah. South Florida over here, bro.
Shit, and the sick thing is too is like we'll go through, and this happened last year too. We had this polar vortex, and it was like stupid cold for like 3-4 days, 5 days, and your body gets used to it. So when that shit broke and it was like 20-25 degrees, that shit felt like summertime to me. I remember I was riding around with my windows down, and I'm thinking to myself, this is wrong. Something is horribly wrong. This shouldn't feel nice to me. You know, and I was just like, God damn, the human body is something else to actually be able to adjust to this type of cold like this. But, you know, I thank God, though, my home is heated, and, you know, it's going to remain heated because I can't have my pipes freezing and shit. You know, of course, that's not a problem in your area, but it's a reality in mine if I'm not careful.
Yeah, see, Thurman had to bring that Florida heat up into Barclays.
And it got fizzled out eventually. Yo, but yeah, man. At least now with this cold, I mean, it forces me to stay my ass inside. You know. Now, unfortunately, you know, I was planning on going to this card that we're about to talk about this weekend, man. But logistics, you know, didn't want me to be great. So unfortunately, I will, instead of, you know, traveling down to Frisco, Texas, in my Eagles jersey into Dallas Cowboys territory. That, of course, if you understand football, my man LB doesn't really understand all that, the significance of what I just said over there, because you don't fuck with football like that. You know.
Yeah.
But
start some shit with Dallas niggas, like.
Hell yeah, start some shit with Dallas niggas, man. I ain't afraid, nigga. I'm Patscorpio, nigga. I don't fuck around with no, you know, niggas fuck around and get fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I'll walk in there with my picture and I dare them to say something. Dare them to tell me something. Patscorpio, shit. So, but yeah, I was wanting to do that. I had that shit, but like I said, this just didn't want me to be great. So, but yeah, the card that we're talking about, though, is Saturday's card on ESPN, ESPN2, because, you know, it's half the card is on each channel, where the main event is Sergey Kovalev versus Eleider Alvarez in a rematch for the WBO light heavyweight title. But before we get into that fight, there are 3 other fights on the card. Interesting fights, you know. Every one of them have their own particular story. So I'll start off with the card, the card that's gonna be on regular ESPN that starts at 10 p.m. Starting late as fuck too. I don't even understand that either. But the logistics, you know, that's ESPN. So the first 2 fights on that card. The first one is Oscar Valdez, the reigning WBO featherweight champion, versus an Italian dude. I personally have never seen before. You know, Carmine Tomasone, and I may have just butchered that name because I don't really speak Italian. I don't have an Italian accent, so I did the best that I can. Fuck y'all. But yeah, now this fight is interesting. Not really on the opponent for Valdez, but on Valdez himself. Now, as everyone knows, if you watch Oscar Valdez, pretty much you watch a nigga that's balls to the walls type of action, man. If you watch the Mariaga fight, or you have the Cervania fight, and especially the fight which put him on the shelf, his last fight against Scott Quigg, which is one of the damnedest brawls, bloody brawls that you'll ever see from last year. You know that Oscar Valdez is a young man that's that doesn't shy from the fade. But unfortunately, these type of wars he's had, combined with a couple of his fundamental flaws, have left him with a broken jaw and some missing teeth, and probably some other injuries that weren't really, that weren't mentioned as much. But it's the broken jaw because, now granted, Quigg was overweight and whatever, and basically Valdez was fighting a very much bigger man. But like I said, he didn't really change his style, and it came at a price. So now, as he was, of course, he's rehabbed, and now he's training with Canelo and them. So pretty much we're gonna be like, is Valdez, is he a guy? Is he a tiger that can change his stripes, so to speak, or do you think that he'll face this Italian dude, who I believe doesn't have that many? I think he's a light puncher, which is a good thing because Valdez, he needs a soft touch. I don't say that much to a lot of young cats out there. But
he need too. Like I don't think he needs to be in any tough fight until like fall.
Exactly. It's like they need to tread water. And this Tomasone that he's facing, he's 34 years old. He's 19. He's undefeated. So what's most likely, like I said, that's probably the reason why he has a WBO record. But he only has 5 KOs, and hasn't scored a KO in about 2.5 years. So looking at his record real quick. So LB, man, what do you think? Do you think Valdez will revert to form, or do you think that Canelo and them will have a profound effect on his fighting style going forward?
I don't know. Like, fighters are who they are, man. And Oscar Valdez is just, he beats guys clean. It seems like it takes too much out of him to do it. Like,
yeah.
Instead of getting fights that should be, 9 rounds of 3, 10 rounds of 2. His fights are always hard, 8 rounds to 4. Maybe 7 rounds to 5 type fights.
Yeah. That's.
And back to now, man. So I think he's gonna be up against a guy who obviously it looks like he can't really punch, but who knows? Records could be misleading because it's all about how you can take the punch.
Right, exactly. And on paper,
is done. If you can't take it, then them 5 knockouts don't mean shit.
Exactly. It could be like, hey, this guy, this Italian cat is like more of a boxer, but those 5 punches is really okay. He decides to sound his punches and bam, try to get rid of niggas, man. But most likely, obviously, the record itself. This is part of the reason why this opponent fight I picked from was the 5 KOs. It's like, now if you look at someone like this, you don't think that Valdez will try to get into another war with someone like this. But hey, if he's gonna be down with Canelo and them, maybe he might have a change. But I'm probably going. I do think he's gonna win. There's nothing as I do think. Just even look at the record. I've never seen a Italian cat fight, but Valdez is clearly a level above this type of opponent. Like especially who he's faced in his last 3 fights. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. If he can fight disciplined enough to not get into a give or take. Although it will be exciting for fans and exciting for niggas that are watching this on TV. Yeah, but
yeah, but let that happen organically. Be on top of your game. Just because the guy's a light puncher, don't let him just tee off on you.
Exactly. Then I'll be like, what the fuck are they doing in that camp?
For real. They can improve Oscar Valdez, but he gotta want to improve. Like, he gotta be able to change. You know what I mean? And level up.
Yeah, you have to suppress the inner Mexican. Like, he can't be out here being a candidate for candidate for the Fernando Vargas Trivia Award. You know what I'm saying? Can't be doing now. Can't be all doing all that. Because it only takes one fight to ruin you. And I think the Scott I think the Scott Quick fight was a warning. And the broken jaw was a warning. So yeah, I mean, we'll see how that goes. The other fight on that card, the other notable fight, which would be it will be for the vacant IBF lightweight title between number 1 contender Richard Commey, who we all know, who came very close to beating Robert Easter for that same belt a couple years ago, and then a Russian cat who I've never seen fight before, but he just happens to have the number 2 spot. It's funny how the most random cats have like the favorable rankings sometimes with these organizations. Like all of a sudden, like they never fought in America before. All of a sudden, like bam, they number 2 or number 1 or I mean, shit. That's how fucking Charles Martin got fucking. And this is the IBF too. The IBF has a whole. They're ranking. They have some of the oddest fighters being ranked high, and even the more oddest fighters actually becoming champions. And this is like the Charles Martin situation. Like, dude had a showcase fight or whatever, and then the IBF title became up for grabs, and he was number 2. And surprise, surprise, some fuckery happened, and he actually became fucking IBF heavyweight champion. And so basically now we have another unknown cat, Isa Shaniv. Again, if I mispronounce his name, because I never heard it uttered before in the video to pronounce it correctly. So y'all got to forgive me. So LB, man, do you think second time's the charm for Richard Commey?
I hope so. He's a tough, solid fighter. He got good chin, good power. I'm pulling for him, but most of all, I'm a boxing fan. I just want to see a great fight and good effort from both boxers. But maybe it's his night, maybe it isn't. We'll see. That they gotta fight the fights.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Commey. After the Easter setback, obviously that fight raised the stock because that was on, Spike when PBC actually had had its shows on Spike. By the way, for all our listeners, PBC on Spike is the best iteration of PBC, period. And it's a shame that they no longer air fights on it, although it's no longer Spike either. But all the classic PBC fights are on that damn channel. Real talk. So yeah, and Commey, after that fight, his stock was high, and then he lost to Shafikov in a fight that I happened to see, and that was a work rate fest itself. And then from there, he rattled off 3 straight wins for his shot, and and I'm rooting for him. Like I said, I thought he was robbed against Robert Easter. I thought he won the fight. Like the one the judges had that shit 114, 113 for Easter for Commey, and that was the score that I had, and I honestly thought Commey won that damn fight. But hometown shit and PBC shit, and they didn't want Robert Easter to lose that 0, not to that man.
I mean, the fight was close. You know, it's one of those where, you know, the name guy, the one with the story, the narrative, the A side, you know, they just were a little more favorable to him. You know, I'm not gonna say that was no crazy robbery.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think Easter won that damn fight. But then, though, the story behind the title becoming vacant was because Mikey Garcia eventually took that belt from Easter and unified it with his WBC belt. However, the IBF had a manager, which was Kame, and for a minute, Mikey was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna honor this," and for a minute, I'm like, "Oh shit, Mikey Garcia and Richard Kame, they're actually going to fight." And you know, and honestly, I was not even suspecting that. I wasn't even expecting that in the first place. So I was like, "Shit, that's a good look for Garcia to actually take a hard fight like that." You know, and then of course, you know, the Spence nonsense got into his head, and you know, the IBF is hard ass about these type of fights. It's like they're like, "Listen, bruh, you know, you either defend this fight against Richard Kame or we're stripping you." You know, and Mikey was like, "To hell with y'all. You know, I'm gonna keep this WBC belt. Fuck y'all. You know, let me get this Spence pay real quick." So yeah, that's how that belt became vacant. And, you know, so yeah, hopefully, you know, like hopefully we do get a good fight. Like the cat that Kame faced, I've never seen him fight. He's 13-1 with 6 KOs. So he's an average puncher. You know, taking a look at his record real quick. I mean, he's never fought in America, or even on a card that I think it's on any international card that I see. So yeah, you know, we just gotta see. You know, that's why we fight the fights, man. So that's it. Hopefully, it turns into something, and hopefully that man can actually become lightweight champion and move on to more lucrative bouts. So yeah, those two fights are on regular ESPN from 10 to 12 a.m. Now, two fights less than a 2-hour block, which probably means we're probably gonna get a shitload of commercials, or if they end early, we're probably gonna get like swing bouts. You know, I mean, I don't understand that. I don't understand that, but I guess it is what it is. But then we get to the other half of the card, which starts at midnight on ESPN Plus. You know, they expect that niggas are actually going to be awake. You know, awake by then. You know what I'm saying? Shit is ridiculous. And on that card, to open up on ESPN Plus, we have Teofimo Lopez, and he will be facing in a 10-round against Diego Magdaleno, which is another significant step-up fight. LB, what do you think of this?
That's a pretty good fight right there. Big step-up for Lopez, and we're going to really see, you know, what he's made of. You know, Magdaleno's a good, solid fighter, you know, talented, you know, boxing skills, all that shit. You know, this a great test to see. Like if somebody trying to be a fighter of the year, you know, fight multiple times. This, you know, Lopez on that path, taking this fight right now in his development.
Yeah, definitely. Because, you know, Magdaleno's been in with some tough customers. I mean, fucking Terry Flanagan, and of course Rocky Martinez. That fight itself, you know, was a hell of a fight too. He's been in there with some heavy hitters. So I mean, you know, if Teofimo Lopez can repeat what he did against Mason Menard, you know, yeah, it's definitely it will definitely be a good start to his 2019 campaign to either, you know, being fighter of the year, and a big step to him actually probably getting ranked, you know, to be considered for a title shot within only 11 fights. Now, what I'm hoping for is, now, I mean, it would be nice, yes, if Lopez blows him away, pause, you know, but But I actually want to see what happens when TF has a little, has some, see some issues in the ring, like, meets. I actually want to see like a.
That's the word you're looking for. We want to see if Lopez can deal with some resistance.
Yeah.
World class resistance.
Right.
A world class boxer.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's why, and hopefully Magdaleno does bring his A game to this, because I want him to see him. Because he's 31-2, 13 KOs. I want to see that experience. I want him to see him test this youngster out, just to see what he's really made of, and see if he'll pass test. And that's the type of fight. I mean, if it's a brawl, so be it. But what I don't really want to see is just like a quick blowout. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, but it is what it is. If it happened, it happened. That's still, that's still a good look for Lopez. But
yeah, it's a good look, but
it's not the best for his, development sometimes.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like, I just want to see what happens when he meets some opposition, and then it's like, oh, then he has to use his brain a little bit. Or if not that, just be able to at least box the man solidly or soundly, and then put him away. Though, I mean, either way, those type of scenarios would impress me a hell of a lot, and it would go a long way to really affirming the type of credentials, the type of fighter that Teofimo Lopez is. Because he's, he's been the distance. Two times, excuse me, in his career. The longest he's actually been in the fight is 6 rounds, both stoppage and decision. He's never won. Yeah, he's had 2 6-round decisions, and then he has a KO, a stop in the 6th round. So yeah, man. I hope that, like I said, I mean, that's either way. That's a good cut. That's a good fight, and that's a good, good step up fight for Lopez, man. So I have, big things for that. I'm expecting some big things for that fight, which now brings us to the main event.
Yes.
So we have Eleider Alvarez, the reigning WBO light heavyweight champion of the world, facing Sergey Kovalev. LB, your thoughts?
Great fight, great rematch. The first fight was damn good. I'm going with Alvarez again, man. I don't know if Kovalev is gonna fix that habit of his, which is, not really judging distance correctly and dropping his hands and moving back. He's been caught with that time and time again. Coming from the Blake Capolero fight, Pascal, Ward, everybody. So, if that Kovalev hasn't fixed that mistake, or he get in positions where Alvarez can land that shot, overhand right again, we looking at another wrap. I mean, probably another KO finish. Yeah,
Kovalev's ability of a boxer, I think, is underrated and overrated. Kovalev as a boxer from long range is absolutely is dangerous. He's incredibly dangerous from long range. Boxing from long range. From his infighting, not as much. Although you still don't want him to punch you. I mean, even.
And he's keeping you out there with that lightning pole, that light pole jab.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he'll put it, whether it's in the upper, the head or the body, doesn't even matter, And it's like his infighting, not his strongest part, but if he gets comfortable enough, like in the Pascal fights, to start lighting you up on the inside, then your ass is in serious trouble. But
yeah, and working that body.
Yeah. Yeah, you got. If he works that body, then you're done. But however, if you work his body, then the chance you might actually get a chance to finish him. And we all know Kovalev right now. His career right now is, I wouldn't say it's hanging on by a thread, but you could tell like a lot of his out of the ring problems are starting to take its toll on him.
Yeah, because when he had snuffed some chick he was stalking.
Yeah, and some crazy. That story is crazy. Like allegedly coming out from underneath the house. Like picture a world champion boxer, a nigga who has 2 kids, and I thought he was married because I mean I remember all them HBO segments and shit like that. Imagine a nigga like that Russian that coming out. It's like, little baby, come here, you know, look good, you know, come here, I want to kiss you.
For real, somebody who's the man in the ring before.
You know, like I said, it's nuts. Like, if you just reading these goddamn stories of Kovalev and all this other shit, you think like, goddamn, I'm making you gotta be making some of this shit up. But this shit is too elaborate for him to be made up.
Yeah, like he really come off like he a miserable person. Like I don't know what it is. Good boxer though.
Yeah, good boxer, dangerous boxer. But he's just, you know, in his own word, he's a piece of shit. You know, that's what he is. I mean, you know, and I just think, I mean, he's at the age now, he's 35, and, you know, and of course, you know, alleged drinking issues, drinking problems, you know, and then of course, trainer issues. I mean, we all know the fallout with him and John David Jackson, and then he went from John David Jackson, who was, you know, who he ignored, to a Russian trainer because there's nothing lost in the translation. He speaks my language. And then, of course, this trainer is the one that got him spanked against Alvarez after he won his 2 fights after the war fights. So now he has Buddy McGirt in his corner. You know, so it's like, do you think Buddy McGirt will, you know, add a new wrinkle to his game right now?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, at this level, Kovalev is who he is. And, you know, Buddy McGirt, you know, he world-class trainer. He on point. He a great trainer. I just don't know, you know, what wrinkles he can add to Kovalev, or, you know, if he can fix those habits. Can he really, you know, break down Alvarez and take his spirit away? Because even though I had him winning in the first fight, you know, Alvarez was working every step of the way.
Oh yeah, definitely. He wasn't even hurt as much. And, yeah, I had Kovalev winning that fight too, and that's like the knockout was just sudden to me. It just came out of nowhere, you know, because it wasn't even. It to me, it didn't even seem like Alvarez was really breaking him down like that. All it was just he threw.
Alvarez stepped in. He saw that window of opportunity and seized it. That's all he did. Instead of just, you know, being passive with the right hand, you know, he could have just threw it and not stepped in, you know, or threw it without conviction. You know, he saw it, bam, rest is history. Exactly,
and that pretty much, you know, that put Kovalev's equilibrium in the bushes. So yeah, it's just like, I mean, could it repeat itself? I mean, Alvarez himself is a 50% puncher. I mean, honestly, I think it comes down to either the Kovalev at least was he able to at least, you know, to lessen some of the issues. Although, like I said, I mean, we have the lawsuit with old girl claiming that, you know,
we don't know what's doing that to his, you know, his mind, his mentality right now. You know, Kovalev, he kind of like a bully in the ring. You know what I mean? Like, he know what to do and everything going his way. You know, you give him some resistance. If that resistance is a little too much, you know, you see how, you know, he'll get frustrated like he did in the war fight, especially the rematch.
Yeah, definitely the rematch. No, I mean, I thought he actually fought for the first fight. He fought disciplined as hell. That first fight.
I thought he won the first fight.
Yeah, exactly. I thought he did too. I mean, that fight was. I mean, Ward didn't look anywhere. I mean, Ward, you know, he showed grit, but either way, I mean, I still had him losing that fight, and that was probably Kovalev's best showing. I mean, Kovalev did a lot to expose some of Ward's own flaws, but most people don't like to hear that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. You know, but the second fight, though, I mean,
it's perfect. Like, no fight is perfect.
No, not at all.
Bad tendencies, the flaws. if you're not matched up against guys that can expose those flaws or test those flaws, then you truly never know how great someone can be. Because a lot of times, depending on the fighter's style, you're not always gonna see the best of a person, depending on who they fight. Then there's some boxers who they're so dynamic. You see their greatness all the time. It's always on display. You just wow, like, oh shit. The technicians, it's a little different.
Right. I mean, do we see
Alvarez and Kovalev, man? Like, real talk. I mean, the first time I thought Kovalev would get it, but now I'm just like, man, the way it ended up, like, I'll be surprised if Kovalev wins this one.
Yeah, if he does it, obviously he'll be a 3-time light heavyweight champion. He'll be WBO light heavyweight champion again, and then depending on what his network situation is, he'll probably move on to probably more lucrative bouts with possibly the other champions in his division, especially the ones that's on ESPN, where I think all but Bivol are actually there on ESPN. But if he loses, I mean, then we're probably looking at possible retirement. Most likely retirement. I mean, either or starting from the drawing board. And I don't think a 35-year-old Kovalev who's going to be probably 36 this year is going to want to do that. Yeah. But hopefully, yeah. I mean, I do hope that this card is, this fight itself is, on point. I do want to see. I mean, Alvarez, I do want to see some actual skill there. But if the knockout comes, so be it. But yeah, I do give the nod to Alvarez. I do think that he'll probably repeat the knockout. Now, I don't think he'll put him away early, but I still think it'll probably be around the same round, like somewhere between 6 and 9, that he'll put Kovalev away. So yeah, those are the fights, and like I said, I wish I could have tried to make it down there, but there'll be other fights, per se. But not gonna stop me from supporting. Although I don't understand the split card, putting on 2 different ESPN entities, but fuck it, I have ESPN Plus, so I don't care. The willingness just to have all 4 fights on one network. They've done it before, but beggars can't be choosers, right?
It's like, fuck it, we're giving you a stacked card, good fights, and you don't just make the switch.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah, it's ESPN's way of telling us you're gonna sit there and you're gonna enjoy this shit, motherfucker, and then pay me my $5 a month. Oh man. So yeah, man, those are our thoughts on the card for Saturday. And it's gonna come to the end of our segment. LB, do you have any final thoughts or anything in particular that you want to share with the masses?
Just y'all just make sure y'all keep hitting up ringgameradio.com, YouTube, social media, site, Instagram, all of that. Twitter, y'all just like, comment, subscribe, follow, whatever. Ring Game Radio for the culture.
Indeed, man. And I utter those same sentiments, man. So for myself, Patscorpio, the New England representative. For my man LB, Shutterworth, the Gawd, GOAT artist. And I gotta make sure we always have to make sure that we say that, because my man is the GOAT artist, man. So yeah, if you're on our site, man, you go to our store, man, you got them pictures, man. You buy them shits, man. Give that man $100, $110, man. Buy that shit for your living room, for your man cave, for your kitchen.
Franklin, you a boxing fan, right?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, just buy, get a paint, buy a drawing, man. Keep that shit up in there, man. It's a good time, for the backers out there. You buy a woman over, man. It'll probably make a good conversational piece. Real talk. So ring games for the culture, and for the culture of men also getting the women's. You know what I'm saying? And that picture will do that. Real talk. So yeah, man. So we'll get at you tomorrow with another where we go recap Keith Thurman, Josecito Lopez, and all the madness related to that. So till then, peace.